You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Okay, so sit comfortably, whatever that is for you. I'm actually going to take Siddhasana. Siddhasana is where we bring one of the feet up and you rest heel on heel. It's a little bit deeper. It's not as deep as like a half lotus or a lotus seat, but it's a little bit deeper into that top leg maybe. And then we're going to bring the left hand onto the heart. So sorry, I'm not mirroring you, but left hand onto the heart. And the other hand touching the ground. So whether that's with the fingers or maybe the palm comes down, but obviously not leaning over to one side. And then just gently roll the shoulders up and back, sitting nice and tall, feeling that navel gently pulling in towards the spine and feeling the sides of the body lengthening. Shoulders become heavy away from the ears and the facial expression starts to soften and relax. And you can choose to close the eyes or keep them open with a soft gaze down towards the floor. And start to connect to the rhythm and maybe the sound of your own breath. As you begin to become more aware of the rhythm, of the flow, you become centered into your surroundings, into your space, on your mat, and become more present and conscious with yourself, your mind, and your body. Letting the breath just happen. Focus on the hands' connection to the heart and to the earth. And feel this energy of circling around. So from the earth, up through the spine, into the heart space, up into the head, and then back around, down into that hand that connects to the earth. So almost like a circular energy. And you can time that with the breath, exhaling into the earth, inhaling into the sky. Once you've done a few of those breaths, really feeling that connection to the body, to the earth, to the heart, to the mind, release the hand that's on your chest and take that down to the earth. And then feel both hands grounding. Feel your legs and your seat grounding you. And then start to walk those hands all the way around into the front of the space and just drop down the head towards the earth into a gentle fold. Letting the head and the neck release, feeling that stretch through the spine, all the way from the base of the skull right to the base of the spine. And then lift up the chest, walk the fingers forward and take a little bit of a deeper stretch. So the arms are maybe out in front of you now, out in front of the shoulders. Again, give in through that exhale. Feel connected to the earth. And then start to walk those hands back towards the body as you roll up. Hands sweep back behind us. Fingertips are facing forward. And you just lift into the chest. So lifting up through the sternum, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the neck, and then maybe taking the gaze to the sky. Supporting the neck here, not letting it collapse back or become heavy and hanging. But lengthen through the throat, lengthen through sternum. And finding those breaths as we're in that back extension, gazing up towards the sky. And nice and slowly bring yourself back and release from your seat, nice and carefully. And then let us come to a child's pose. And you can find your own child's pose here, whether that's nice wide-legged, knees as wide as your mat, maybe the knees are together. Bring the hands out. First of all, just rest the chest down, but then bring the hands into prayer and bring the thumbs into the base of the neck. So trying to press the wrists together, maybe the heels of the hands are starting to pull away, but pressing into the elbows here. So widening across the chest and the upper back. Feel the stretch through the shoulder blades, the lats, side body, rib cage, waists, relaxing hips back towards the heels. And as we're there, connecting our forehead to the mat, find your own intention for practice, one of groundedness and connection. So it could be an affirmation of I am connected and grounded. Releasing the hands, placing the palms down onto the mat, into that child's pose, and just giving yourself a nice big stretch through the spine. And then walking those hands back towards the body. Come into kneeling at the back of your mat just for a moment. The knees can stay wide or they might be together. Roll the shoulders. Give that just a little bit of release into the shoulder blades there. And then just roll them forward so that the shoulder blades are broadening across the back. It's like you're hunching. And then pulling the shoulder blades together. So it's a protraction and a retraction. And then that goes into the rest of the body, and you start to feel you're creating a seated cat and cow. All of the vertebrae become involved here, all the way from the base of the skull right down to the lower lumbar. And then bring yourself center. Bring the knees together. Let's tuck the toes into your toe squat, bringing those toes underneath you, softening back nice and slowly, only coming back as far as is comfortable. And if you like here, bringing the arms round into reverse prayer. So hands come up through the spine, maybe into the section between the shoulder blades, and squeezing those wrists together if that feels comfortable, staying and holding, smiling, breathing. There's work into the wrists, work into the toes here. And nice and slowly release the reverse prayer first. Slide those hands forward into tabletop and then release the toes. Ooh, take a moment. And just breathe in your neutral tabletop whilst I let my cat in. Oh my goodness. Come on, you're so demanding. Okay. Hello, are you going to come and practice some yoga? No, maybe not. Hello. Okay, so finding tabletop, let's start by getting into the wrists. So flipping the right and the left wrist together, the heels of the hands press forward and the little fingers come in towards one another and the thumbs go out to the side. Take this nice and slowly here because you are going to feel that stretch going all the way up from the wrist into the elbow. Trying to splay those fingers as much as you can. The deeper that you pull your hips back towards your heels, more weight that comes towards the back of the mat, the deeper that stretch is likely to feel in the wrists there. We don't want to overforce it. We just want to feel that point of resistance, our edge. Nice and slowly start to peel the heels off, the thumbs off, the knuckles and the fingers. Bring the hands to the knees. Just pause and feel the sensation that you create in the hands there. Maybe you get little pins and needles in the fingers. So start to wiggle the fingers. And then just gentle flexions into the wrist to get some movement back and rotations one way and the other. Give them a shake. Before we go into the other stretch, let's bring the hands together. So we're going to interlace the fingers, keeping the heels of the hands together, and then start to create a figure of 8. It's always quite hard, this one. You need that brain to hand connection. And then try and reverse the figure of 8. Oh yes, I've got it today. It's going the other way. Anti-clockwise or clockwise. Nice. And release, shake it out, bring the fingers together, press the knuckles down. So you stretch into the fingers there. And then a little bit of break dancing here. So really get into fingers, wrist joints, elbows, and then all the way into the shoulders. And shake out. Let's come into our second wrist stretch, which is a wrist extensor stretch. So the backs of the hands come down this time, fingertips are splayed, and the thumbs are facing one another. So it's kind of looking like that. And here, again, the elbows might be bent out to the sides, but try and bring the elbows in towards one another. That's going to feel that stretch a little bit deeper. Trying to press all of the fingers down flat. Thumbs, little fingers. And then again, if you start to bring the weight back towards the hips, you're going to feel that stretch in the outer wrist. So our forearms are kind of facing towards the front of the mat. Like that. Like that. The fingertips are facing back towards us. Hard to see. Nice and slowly, we're going to peel off the back of the hands. Again, we peel off the fingers. We don't move until we just feel. Let them rest on the knees. Woo! And now get into the wrists a little bit again, flexing one way, rotating gently, and hopefully once the sensation subsides, you feel that the wrists get a little bit more mobile. Give them a shake out. Good. And then the last thing we're going to do is squeeze in and stretch, squeeze and stretch, and that speeds up. So it might start to feel a little bit spicy in about 30 seconds. So keep going. You're probably feeling that into the forearms, into the wrists. Ooh, starting to get a bit spicy now. Ooh, keep it going. Oh, and stop. Give a shake. Rub the palms together. Ah, oh, well done. That's our wrist work. A little bit of ankle work coming up. We've done our toe squat, so let's do our ankle stretch. We're getting into the joints of the body today. Hands come back behind you and just lifting up the knees. You might stay here. You might release the hands, bringing them to the knees, starting to scoop out the belly. Whew. Good. And then slowly bring the hands forward just to rock that back into the mat. Slowly come forward, back into tabletop. Really ground through those palms now, spreading the fingers. Notice where the eye of the elbow lies. Is it facing forward or is it facing to inward? Pressing into the tops of the feet, into the shins. Press away through the palms. Round the back and lift the knees and shins about an inch, 2 inches away from the mat. Starting to engage through the abdominals, really pressing into the tops of the feet and the hands. Breathing there. Broadening across the shoulders. And slowly lower it down. Tuck the toes this time. Come into your cow pose. So you push back through the toes, looking forward. Again, staying and holding. We're dropping the lower back and pushing away through the palms, broadening across the chest. So we're going to do that with the breath. So the exhale, you're going to push up. The inhale, you're going to tuck and look forward. The exhale, pushes and rounds. The inhale, tucks and lifts. Keep that going. Exhaling and inhaling. 2 more. And release it back. Active child's pose, bringing knees together, ankles together, toes together, reach the hips back. Now reach the fingertips forward, up on a spider tips. Exhale, head comes down between the biceps. Place the palms, lift the hips, tuck the toes. Exhale, bent legged, downward facing dog. Pedal out through the toes, soles of the feet, ankles, Achilles, back of the calves, back of the knees. Introduce a little bit of a stretch. Twisting one side and stretching into the legs. And we've been down a while with bent knees, so really feel you know that you're starting to get that flow of energy back through the legs. When you're ready, exhale both heels together into downward facing dog and just find a nice, comfortable place to be. Really push away from the mat through those palms. We're broadening across the shoulders, pressing chest back towards the thighs. Let's come into a connecting vinyasa from here, nice and slow and controlled. Inhale, we come forward into the plank. Exhale, we lower knees, chest, chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. All the way to the mat. Inhale, roll it up into Cobra. Exhale, tuck toes back into downward facing dog. You can repeat that connecting vinyasa or go into chaturanga and up dog if you like. So inhale into plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Looking forward, walking the feet all the way to the front of your mat. Take a moment to ground through the soles of the feet, feeling all points of connection there. Exhaling deeply into your fold. Find the dangle, maybe taking hold of the elbows, giving in to gravity, letting the head and the neck soften and release. Fingertips come on blocks or down to the mat or to the shins as you come up into your half lift. Maybe lengthening through the back of the legs, but keeping light into the heels. Crown of the head reaches away, navel pulls up, spine is long. Again, breathing here. And then from there, exhale, Uttanasana, maybe bending the knees or keeping them straight. With a micro bend, of course. Bend the knees, heel toe the feet out. Let's take our time to get into a Malasana squat here. So just starting to drop the hips down and then move left or right. So just moving knees across, good. Once you come into the central position, drop the hips, bring the hands in towards the heart space, elbows in towards the knees. Feel strong through the ankle joints, lengthening spine, dropping sit bones down. Those wrists should feel nice now as you press them together at the heart space. We're going to stay in our Malasana. We're going to reach our right hand out in front of our right shin. So that right hand comes down to the mat, lifting up the left and opening it up. If you want, of course, you can go into a bind from here, wrapping right arm around the shin and the left arm goes around the back to meet it. Or lift the chest up towards the sky. Try and keep that Malasana squat. Oh, yes. Bring it back into the center. Take a moment to realign. Left hand goes out towards those toes and then reaching up with the right arm, twisting towards the right thigh. Staying there if that feels good, or taking it into the bind. Oh, tricky that side. Can't quite meet. Opening right shoulder, right side of the body. Nice and slowly, hands come back into Malasana. Exhale there. Hands come down, lift the hips. Heel toe feet into parallel or toes together. Exhale, fold, press through the feet. Lift the arms out to the sides. Take time to come up into a gentle upward salute here. We don't have to go deep there. Reaching, reaching, reaching to sky. Feel those toes spread. Feel grounded through the feet, lifting up through the legs. Reach to the sky. And then exhale, the hands come down through the center line of the body, all the way to the heart center. And release the hands down to take a mountain pose. As you just pause, start to feel what it's like to stand. Are we good? Are we ready? A little bit of a flow. Right, let me close this door now that Wesley's gone out and come back. Well, come in and gone back out again. Okay, let's get into our flow. Hands at heart center. Take a nice deep breath out. Inhale, the arms open. Lift the chest, lift the sternum. And exhale, hands come back into the heart. The hands sweep down and up, meet above the head, and then swan dive with bent or straight legs. Chest leads, and release all the way into the fold. Inhale into a half lift here. Exhale, hands come down, look back, place the right foot, and come into a nice low lunge. Release to the tops of the feet. The arms circle all the way up and back, and they interlace behind the base of the spine. Roll the shoulders open, and as you then drop the hips forward, lifting the heart center, pressing the knuckles down the back thigh. Good, nice. Stay and hold and breathe. Pulling those shoulder blades together, pulling navel into spine. Nice and slowly, we release the hands and we keep the left hand onto your right thigh. We come up into that revolved twisted lunge. So maybe you use the hand as leverage on that thigh to get a little deeper twist. Nice. We're reaching out to the left side of our mat. Nice. Reach those fingers up and back. Drop hips a little deeper. Nice and slowly, that right hand comes down on the inside and we sweep the back toes up into a straight leg as you come into your twisted lunge. Open, open, open the chest to that thigh. Ground through the feet and the hand. Nice and slowly, the hand frames the front foot and you stay in that nice long, low lunge. We rock forwards and backwards. We're going onto the tips of the toes, maybe roll over onto the toes. You can drop into the ankle. I quite like that, actually. That's quite nice. Oh, yeah, get it into the toe joints. Nice. From there, we tuck the back toe, hands come down. We step it back into a three-legged dog, lifting up the left leg. Find your three-legged dog, exhale through the right heel. You open up into that scorpion or kicking donkey. Actually, it is kicking donkey, not scorpion tail. And then we drop into figure of eights to warm up into the hips. So figure of eights, drop down into the mat. 3 of those. 2. And 3. Placing the foot, exhaling into downward facing dog. Let's find a connecting vinyasa of choice. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back extension. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe and pause. Looking forward, walking the feet all the way to the front of your mat. Exhale into the fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Press through the feet. Inhale all the way up. Little back bend. Might go a little bit deeper this time. Upward salute. Exhale brings you back into the center. Samastiti. Ready for the second side. Inhale, arms open. Exhale, hands close. Inhale, sweep them up. And exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhale into your half lift. Exhale, step back with your left leg this time. Come into the low lunge first of all, release to the tops of the feet. The arms sweep forward and up, circle all the way back. And then as you interlace, think about which finger went on top last time. Place the other finger there. Exhale, sink hips forward. Maybe you get a back bend in, maybe you look forward, that's okay. Maybe you look to the sky. Neck is supported with those neck muscles. This time, the right hand stays on the left thigh and your left arm reaches up and back. The hand comes down on the inside of your foot, you tuck the back toe and you lift the knee and come into your twisted lunge from there. Reach up towards the sky with those fingers, feel grounded through hands and feet. And then roll the torso onto that front thigh. Hands come down, long lunge. This is where we rock forward, maybe coming over the toes. 3 of those. Tucking the back toe, the hands frame, and you sweep up with your right leg all the way up into 3-legged dog. Opening up the hip, kicking donkey, dropping heel towards the buttock, pressing chest back towards left thigh. 3 figure of 8s, dropping knee down. And press it back. Number 2, exhale. Inhale as you lift. Number 3. And up and back. Release it into your downward facing dog, nice and composed. Exhaling there. Take a tabletop or child's pose if you need to. Looking forward, walking the feet. Maybe you like to float, that's okay too. Inhale, half lift when you get there. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet. Bring yourself up into that upward salute. Maybe a deeper back bend now. Really the chest, shoulders, upper back and lower back are now opening up. And the hands come back into the heart center to pause, compose. And release the hands down by the body. Nice, let's get into the second part of that flow. So, hands at heart center. Inhale, open. We go a little bit faster here. Exhale, close. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Step back with the right leg. And find a high lunge. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, pull them down into cactus. And reach up, straightening through the front leg. Pull them down into cactus, bending into the knee. So as we bend into the elbows, the knee bends too. And pull down. Release the hands forward. And that leg sweeps back into your 3-legged dog once more. This time we go into a wild thing. So our left foot comes to our right side of our mat. We lift up into our wild thing variation. Reaching up and back, staying and holding. Breathe, breathe, breathe. We come back into the center, and that knee comes in towards the chest, and we send it through into our fallen triangle. Transitioning into that fallen triangle, we're pushing away through strong left arm, lifting hips. Hold and breathe. Bring it back. Twisted lunge there. Back into plank, connecting vinyasa of choice into downward facing dog. Exhale, take a few breaths. Reflect, compose. Stepping or hopping, floating forward, or inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Press through the feet. Inhale, all the way up. Little back bend. Exhale. Inhale, lift. And exhale. Come back into the heart center. Doing great. Almost there. Let's go opposite side. So arms open. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back left leg this time. Find your high lunge. And then exhale, pull the arms down into cactus. Inhale, they straighten. Exhale, they bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Last one. I don't know how many I did, maybe 3 or 4. And those arms fold down and meet the mat. Let's sweep it back into plank first of all. Did I? Maybe. No, maybe. 3-legged dog. Here we go. Kicking donkey there, and then drop it over into your wild thing on the left side of your mat. Nice. Lift it up. Reach it back. Strong left wrist, left arm, left shoulder. Pushing hips up, glutes engaged. Bring yourself back and fallen triangle. Leg pushes through. Try and get the heel in line with the hip there. Transitioning up. Bring yourself back into the twisted plank. Now we do our connecting vinyasa. And we come back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. Oh, the heart's working today. Good for the lungs, good for the breath control, good for the opening of the front gate of the body, strengthening the back body. Looking forward, stepping or hopping. 1 or 2 hops. Inhale, half lift. Or exhale, release. And then press through the feet. Inhale all the way up into your upward salute. Bring it back into center. Take a pause. Slow down the heart rate. Slow down the breath. And release the hands down by the side of the body. Just close the eyes. Take a moment. Going to come into a balance, which is Chapasana or sugarcane pose, because that's a nice heart opener. And also because of that beautiful full supermoon yesterday. So having a block, if you need one, right in front of your mat, just placing the right foot. We obviously go through Ardha Chandrasana first of all. So really finding the balance of your Ardha Chandrasana. And think about that, the fingers being connected, but not solely relying on the block. You are lifting up. You are supporting yourself. So find your Ardha Chandrasana half moon first of all. When you feel ready, just bend at the knee of that lifted leg and sweep that left arm back and around, pushing the hips towards the left side of your mat. You're going to start to roll and revolve the open rib cage to the sky. Maybe you change the gaze, maybe you check your balance. Had to come down, release it back into your warrior two, and then just step forward. It's a nice one, Chapasana, because we opened up in a wild thing. So let's go other side. Right leg is lifting this time. Find the balance on the block. Stabilize through the supporting leg, feel grounded. When you feel ready to take the foot, we're going to push that foot into the hand, opening up the chest. Release it. Oh! With control through warrior. And bring it back into center to take a moment to pause. Good, nice. Let's come down to the mat. Let's slow that down a little bit. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, ripple into your half lift. And exhale, hands come down. Step right, step left. Find a plank. Lower knees, lower chest, chin, or chaturangas, up dogs into connecting vinyasas. And just take that all the way back into your child's pose. So release the hips back, and you can bring the hands back by the heels here, letting the head relax down. Soften through the shoulders here. Release through the chest. And then let's roll up through the spine. Bring the legs out in front of us. And take a seated forward fold. Lifting up the arms. And reach up and over. Taking the two peace fingers on the toes. Exhaling. Pulling those elbows in towards the midline. Good. You can keep a flat back, or you might like to drop the head down towards the knees. And then gently roll up through the spine. Bring the right leg into your half butterfly or head to knee pose, placing that at the thigh or the calf. Gently ground through both sit bones, lifting up. And exhale, fold over the left extended leg. Roll back up. Bring the right leg up and over. Let's come into Ardha Matsyendrasana twist. Make sure that foot is pointing forward, big toe is pulling down. If you want to keep that leg extended, you might, or you could do your little double wrap, dropping that right buttock down. Nice. Let's twist towards the right knee and opening up the chest. And let's sweep it all the way around. So if you've got that extended leg, you're going to have to bend it back in to sweep all the way around, lifting the hips, coming into the opposite side. Into that twist, first of all, dropping down left buttock this time, and then twisting towards the left thigh, maybe the elbow or that's it. Maybe the elbow crosses over the knee, or maybe you just hug the knee. And then bring yourself back into center. We release the underneath leg first of all, and then place that foot ready for head to knee. So either at the thigh or the calf, sitting tall on both sit bones, lifting up, folding over that extended leg, letting both shoulders drop equally, particularly the left shoulder dropping. Chest is parallel to that right thigh. Rolling up, lifting that left knee, taking it all the way along the mat. Lifting tall, second Paschimottanasana. Reach up and over. Extend those fingers way past the toes. Maybe the two peace fingers grab hold of the toes. Lifting through the chest, pulling elbows in, and then exhaling. Bring yourself back up, lengthen the spine. Hands come back behind you, fingertips face forward underneath the shoulders. We're going to go up into an upward facing plank or upward facing tabletop. So tabletop, your knees are bent, soles of the feet down. You can point the feet and lift the hips. Get the hands in the right place. Looking along the body if it feels good. We're trying to open across the collarbones and the chest, rolling those shoulders underneath us. Push away through the palms. We've got strong, strong hands here. Lift, 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 lift hips. And lower it down. Come off of the wrists. Give them a little shake out. Well done. Hello. Hi. Bring the soles of the feet nice and wide. This is going to bring us all the way to the front of our mats. So we drop the knees over. And hopefully each time we're scooting forward. Nice. So kind of when you get your feet to the front, we're going to stay with our deer pose. So you can bend in that back knee if you like. What are you doing? Hey, what are you up to? You're being nice because you want to go outside. We're going to take a twist. So let me show you this way. So you're opening up into deer pose. You're taking a twist towards your right knee. And then placing that right hand down, lifting up left arm. You might like to come down onto the elbow here, dropping into that right knee, that right hip relaxes. Come down on the forearm, or you can stay on the palm, and maybe the gaze turns to look underneath the left elbow. You're pushing that left hip up and forward, and then bring the left arm back, and you come off of that right arm to change sides. So find your deer pose, take the twist towards the left knee, Pushing that hip forward, get a nice little stretch through there. And then the hand comes down and you lift the top arm, or you bring yourself down onto your forearm and get a little bit lower, a little bit deeper. Keep pushing back hip up and forward. Nice. Dropping left knee. Changing the gaze up towards the top arm. And then releasing top arm, pressing through hands, bringing feet to the front of the mat. Sitting nice and tall there. Let's come into a boat pose. So sitting on those sit bones, and you can keep one foot down and go into your half boats if you like. Lifting up. And maybe you straighten the legs. Lift the chest. Reach the fingertips forward. Feel grounded through the sit bones, but you're lifting up through the heart center. Nice. And we're going to try and bring those knees in towards the chest, balancing on the sit bones. Oh, that's tricky. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then gently roll back through the spine, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Lengthen out the spine here. Spread the shoulder blades, spread the upper back, and soften. Squeeze the knees towards the shoulders. And roll and massage out through the lower back, through the waist, through the middle backs. Circle the knees one way and the other. You might like to get into the hips as well here by opening up the knees. Take the legs straight up to the sky. Hands down by the side of the body for the moment. Spread the shoulder blades. Take a look at the toes. Pull the toes back towards the shins, pressing through the soles of the feet as if you were doing acro yoga and had somebody on your soles of your feet and you're having to hold them up. And then press through the balls of the feet and point. So keep doing that, just flexing and pointing, really getting it into the toes. Circle through the ankles. Rotate, and now lift the arms up into dead bug. Hello. And flexing into the wrists and giving them a little rotation and a little shake. So shake the ankles, shake the wrists, shake the legs. Press the soles of the feet down by the buttocks. Hands come down by the body, pressing up into bridge pose. And your choice here with bridge is that you interlace the fingers underneath the body and roll the shoulders deeper underneath. So lifting up the hips, glutes are engaged. We've done all of that already in our wild thing practice and our upward facing planks. Neck is long. If you like, releasing one leg up towards the sky, three-legged bridge. Or a one-legged bridge. One leg bridge. And lifting the other. Or keep the hips lifted. And bring it down and roll down super slowly through the shoulders, upper back, middle, and lower. Take the legs all the way along the mat for the moment to take a rest. Exhaling. Sway the hips a little. Give the spine a little bit of a release. So coming into a wheel pose, if wheel is for you, if wheel is in your practice, it's not actually in my practice at the moment, but I am going to go through the prep with you. So the feet parallel, ankles, knees, and hips, all in alignment. Feet are right in towards the buttock as close as you can. The hands come up by the ears, and the fingertips face towards the shoulders. So I'm going to likely stay here, but we're going to squeeze the elbows in towards one another. Now, if you're going to go up into the next stage, you want to go up onto the crown of your head. So you're going to push through the arms, strong through the shoulders, coming up onto the top of the head. That's it. And maybe from there you push up, really strong shoulders up into your wheel pose, Chakrasana. So I'm literally just going to stay here in wheel prep. Because I had craniosacral therapy on Thursday. If you need to come down and rest off the wrist, do so, and maybe try a second time around. Looking good. Broaden across those shoulders. Try and get those arms straight. Really push up the hips and the rib cage. Nice. Beautiful. Maybe a one-legged wheel is in the mix today. Good. We don't do wheels very often. And I haven't done a wheel for a while, but not with a neck injury. So take a moment to come out. Arms are by the side of you at shoulder height, just dropping knees right and left, windscreen wiping. Through the spine and the hips, releasing. Maybe you like to move the head left and right as well. That releases into the neck. And then coming back into center, bring the feet together into butterfly. So this time we keep the right hand onto the heart space. The left hand stays down onto the mat. Just do a little small bit of pranayama here. So the left hand is palm face down and your right hand is connected to your heart space. So the opposite from where we started. So again, feel this breath that comes in from the earth, up the spine, into the heart space, out through the top of the head, and then back around into the earth again as you breathe out. Follow that flow, that circular breath. Ground to heart, to head, back to the earth, connection. And throughout our entire practice today, we have been working with grounding, but also lifting postures. So that feeling of rooting and rising. A balance between heaven and earth. Release that circular breath, release the hands down by the side of the body, breathe normally. Bring the hands to the thighs, lift the legs together, place the soles of the feet wide, drop the knees into constructive rest and soften out. Heel toe into parallel, draw the knees in, roll and massage out. And let us come now to final relaxation in Shavasana. So making sure you're warm and you are comfortable. Taking the feet wide, letting the toes relax, letting the ankles soften. And making sure that the shoulder blades are really nice and spread underneath you here. So lifting up the back and pulling the shoulder blades apart. Taking as much space as you have around you for the hands to go out towards the sides, and just move the neck left and right on the back of the skull to make sure that it comes back into central alignment. And as we lie down on our backs, starting to feel the body weight become heavier, the bones letting go, the joints relaxing, the muscles disengaging, the mind becoming present, and the body giving in to the earth in surrender. Feeling completely accomplished, connected, and grounded after your physical practice. This is now the time to enjoy your reward, and I will let you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths now as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings, into your space, onto your mat, and back into the body. Wiggling fingers, moving wrists, wiggling toes, and moving ankles. Taking time to stretch, drawing knees in, rolling and massaging out. Returning to a comfortable seat, maybe returning to Siddhasana, bringing the hands into the heart center, taking a moment to just settle into that seat once more after physical practice and a relaxation. Taking note of how you feel. And just reminding yourself of your own intention for practice, that one of feeling completely grounded and connected, both to the earth and to the sky. And always thanking the body and the mind and the heart. And I thank you. Namaste.